Hello, fabulous friends, fans, and superstars. Welcome to your horoscope for the week of April 22nd, 2018. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. What an amazing week it is. We've got an active sky playing out right now. And we do have a sky that has a mix of inspiration, but also intensity, a sense of fatedness, as well as a sense of lessons coming around and being understood more deeply, as well as Venus on the move. And I think we're going to like that energy very much. So let's take it one at a time. In the first half of the week, it is an energy of Mars speaking in harmony with Jupiter that we will be feeling. And I absolutely love this energy, I must say. I feel as I look at this is a sense of being inspired, a sense of being hopeful, and also a sense of being motivated from an authentic place within us. Mars right now moving through the sign of Capricorn, which has to do with ambition. It also has to do with legacy and aligning ourselves with a higher vision for our lives in at least one area of life. You add to this Jupiter moving through the sign of Scorpio, which is about truth, which is about understanding ultimately where true healing can take place and how to create a change from the inside out in a way that empowers yourself and others. So you put these together, and it can be a powerful time where we are making powerful moves with the absolute belief that great things are possible, and they certainly are. It is as we get into the second part of the week, and this is energy we'll be feeling building as we move forward, but it is going to be in the second part of the week that Mars will meet Pluto in the sky. And this is an energy that a lot of people out there are certainly going to be feeling. Now, this is a meeting that happens once every 2 years. And so when it happens once every 2 years or so, it tends to represent a time where we are feeling a sense of some very deep lessons, a sense of a fated pull towards a deeper transformation, and really an invitation that seems almost irresistible, that ultimately asks us to look at our true motivations and to look at whom it is that we have been, where it is that we can embrace and emphasize what's good, and where it is that we can admit that maybe we could have done things better. Now, as much as this energy does have that element to it that can be lifted, right, that can be raised, and the higher vibration of this, of course, is focus. It is determination. It is knowing where change has to happen, being determined to create that change, and taking ownership for our part to move ourselves in the direction of meaningful transformation. But there's another element to this as well, right? If you're not engaging this energy consciously, sometimes this can represent a feeling like, at least in one area of life, that things are a little bit unfair, or that you'd like things to be better in some way, more empowered in some way. And at the same time with this, that unfairness factor can even go to a place of feeling a little bit unjust. Now, ultimately, I'm very encouraged by the fact that Jupiter is speaking in harmony with this configuration. In fact, I absolutely love that. I think that that ultimately is the saving grace here, whereas otherwise this energy could really go into places that maybe is not so enlightened and not so uplifting. It is Jupiter that's going to help to balance it out and keep us focused on the positive and focused on the possibilities if we will harness our power to create meaningful change in our lives, certainly, but in our world as well. Elsewhere in the sky, also in the second part of the week, Mercury will be speaking with Saturn. And this is important for a few reasons. We're sort of at the tail end of Mercury retrograde season. We've been in Mercury retrograde season since early March, and it was in early March that Mercury went into shadow, and then in the later part of March Mercury went retrograde. In the earlier part of April Mercury went direct. Actually, in mid-April Mercury went direct, and now, you know, winding up, but not quite out of shadow just yet. And a big characteristic as part of this particular Mercury retrograde season has been an ongoing dance, an ongoing conversation that Mercury has been having with Saturn. And this has been a conversation of some tension. But ultimately, what this conversation has been about for us has been about understanding our power on the one hand. This is Mercury retrograde season in Aquarius after all. Understanding our truth, understanding our being, and understanding ultimately what it is that matters to us the most. Again, in at least one area of life, depending on your sign. And then there's Saturn. Saturn has been dancing with that particular Mercury and asking us, what is it that we're willing to sacrifice for whom it is that we desire to be, for what it is that we most desire to do? And what is it that's worth sacrificing as well? Where is it that we can make those distinctions between healthy sacrifices, right, and the types of sacrifices that maybe ultimately will or perhaps will get us to the bigger picture, but sometimes feel right and they feel like the challenge that we're ready for, but sometimes may not feel right. Well, wherever you are as part of that journey, this is going to be an important moment for you, because this is going to represent the final of this dance, at least for now, the final moment of this dance happening this week. And it says to me that where it is we haven't been clear, we will now understand that much more deeply. Now, think about what we sacrifice, right? What are some healthy things we sacrifice? Well, we may sacrifice our inner critic. We may sacrifice, being so hard on ourselves that we're not accepting of our true gifts. Or we may sacrifice this idea of what it is that we think we should be, rather than being open to what it is that we could be and all it is that we could be. So these are some healthy things that we may sacrifice. And there's also a healthy sense of delayed gratification. That's a big part of what Saturn likes. Saturn is one that says, act now with an eye towards where it is that you will end up, rather than just acting in terms of what feels good in this very moment. Act with a sense of perspective, act with the long view picture. And so this to me says that we are getting that very long view perspective, but finding healthy ways forward, finding ways forward that ultimately are not just about sacrifice, but ultimately what it is that we're sacrificing is what is not in alignment with what we know makes us feel strong and good about ourselves. This is Mercury in the sign of Aries after all, and Mercury, yes, has to do with communication. So that does mean it may be a connection or communication with another person that inspires some of this consideration and some of this uncovering of our sacred truth. At the same time, Mercury also represents our thought processes. And so this is going to allow us to tap into a greater sense of, on the one hand, clarity, yes, but on the other hand, having a real sense of where it is that it is smart to consider a bigger perspective, and where it is that we've been indulging in certain ways of being, certain thought patterns that really are not going to serve us for the bigger picture. And we have to understand them so that we can release them and let them go and be more happy in the present, knowing that the present will take us to the future that we truly desire. Now, if all that wasn't enough, Venus this week is going to change signs. In the middle of the week, Venus changes signs, and Venus will move into the sign of Gemini. So this is really nice. Wherever it is that Venus goes, it represents sort of an evolution or a change in which how it is that we express our love, what it is that we think is beautiful as a collective in particular. And with Venus moving into the sign of Gemini, this is having to do with beautiful words. This has to do with a mind and heart level connection within ourselves and within other people as well, or with other people as well. And so this to me represents a profound sense of clarity as to what it is that you really want in love. Like, we're actually able to bring words to it. And we're actually able to understand the value of being with somebody or connecting with somebody on a companionship level. How it is that that ultimately fuels love as well. Now, whether that fueling love is happening now with new love that may happen, or whether that is with established bonds, there's something amazing that happens when you're with somebody that you truly can talk to. Now, as far as what we consider beautiful, look, the sign of Gemini has to do with the mind on the one hand. So we will consider people using their minds well as particularly beautiful at this time. For those so inclined and so interested, wherever Venus goes, so goes our latest fashion trends as well, and makeup trends. And I do think that Venus moving into the sign of Gemini does emphasize more of a youthful look, right? And it also speaks to just fun, having fun with your fashion expression. What I love about this week for us is that there's really this sense of consequence now. There's this sense of being pulled towards some of our most important lessons. Now, while we have all these different energies playing out, I must say it is that meeting of Mars and Pluto that we are going to feel more than any other energy, at least this week. And this is because this really is about being shown a way towards which meaningful change can occur in our lives. Now, how much are we going to engage that process with awareness? How much are we going to engage that process with determination? And how much is it that ultimately we are going to decide not to give into sort of an obsessive or addictive way of thinking about ourselves or thinking about a particular situation, but rather we are going to raise this energy. We are going to be that force of transformation by understanding ultimately that when you truly own your power, it means to know yourself and to act from that place. And when you know different, you do different. And there's some kind of power in that. There's some kind of acceptance in that that can only move us towards greater love and greater wisdom as well. Well, thank you so much for watching. You can get a video that talks all about what this wonderful stuff I spoke about for this week, all the celestial energies this week. Well, how does it speak to you in your sign? You can log on to astrofabulous.com or nadiyashah.com. Sign up to be one of my superstars. Superstars get expanded, exclusive video scopes each and every week. All of this and so much more in the superstar space at nadiyashah.com. I look forward to meeting you there. Now, this coming, well, not this weekend, but next weekend is the last class as part of the April special series as part of Synchronicity University. It's been incredible. You can still sign up. You can get the video downloads to the first two classes I did and join us live, or just get the download for the last class that I'll be doing next weekend. And so the classes I've done so far are the nodes in astrology, which actually builds on and gives you new information beyond just the videos that I have on YouTube. And I also did a class called Past Lives in the Astrology Chart. It was a wonderful class to teach. And so next week, it is going to be health and holistic healing in the astrology chart. So again, if you can join us live, great. Live online in real time. If you can't join us live, that's okay too. You can download the course. You can also download past classes at synchronicityuniversity.com. I've taught so many classes. I haven't taught though live online anyways as part of Synchronicity University for over a year. So it's really nice to be back, and I've enjoyed it so very much. Thank you to all the incredible students who have joined me. We've been figuring out what to call ourselves, right? The synchronistic students or something, but thank you. Thank you for being there. Thank you for celebrating the sky and your lives with me as always. Now I'm gonna be in Chicago. My next big event is in Chicago. I'm so incredibly excited about this. In the Memorial Day weekend in May is when the UAC conference takes place. Now, the UAC conference is really one of the largest astrology gatherings on the planet today. And it only happens once every 4 to 6 years or so. And it is all these astrologers getting together and really the brightest, most renowned minds in astrology presenting at this huge conference. And this year it is in Chicago. Now, I like to call it the Olympics of astrology, and it really is. I mean, you get just the best, the brightest, but it's not like there's a competitive spirit. It's more like there's this sense of being with your people that truly is very heartwarming. So I hope that you'll join me. It is the Friday that I will be teaching a short version of my class, Chemistrology. If you can't be there live, which I would love to see you live, I hope friends and fans come out. But if you can't be there live, that's okay, because I taught that as part of Synchronicity University, and you can download that class as well. But it'll be fun, and there's something about what happens in a moment that truly can be very exciting. So I look forward to meeting friends and fans at the UAC conference. I will have a small number of consultation space available. So if you'd like a one-on-one consult where I look at your chart, we sit down together, I answer your questions in front of you, right? It'll be really nice to do that as well. Please do contact me using the contact form on my website, and we can make that happen. Really looking forward to being in Chicago, looking forward to meeting friends and fans and just enjoying myself with my Astro fam, as I like to call it. I mean, it really is family, all of us getting together. together there at the UAC conference, and astrologers from around the world look forward to this for years. So it'll be a lot of fun. And if you are into astrology, if you know other astrologers besides myself, chances are they're there. So you can follow up with them, check on that, and hopefully come in one place. It's a big party and it's a lot of fun, and you learn a lot of astrology. Not only in the classes, there's like over 200 classes, talks happening over the weekend, but also in the downtime as well. That's where a lot of learning and a lot of fun happens as well. I look forward to meeting you in Chicago. Well, thank you again for watching. I'm truly so very grateful for this moment with you. It'll be a great week. Enjoy.